Yeah, Lions on the prowl, Lions on the prowl. Always putting weight, always going wild. Lions on the prowl, Lions on the prowl. Yeah, always putting weight, always going wild. Best quarterbacks you ever heard. Get up, Matthew Stafford, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones. They gon' get it in the zone. No matter how they try to fan, Darius Slay gon' get it in. Matt Patricia ball grant, making sure our players win. Got a dangerous offensive, they always bring the pain. Talking about that Ricky Wagner, can't forget about TJ Lane. Detroit Lions got it locked. Tim and Jim gon' let you know. This the Lions on the prowl. Come on, time to start the show.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jim.
And my name is Your Maniac Tim.
And welcome to episode number 9 of Lions on the Prowl. This episode is brought to you by West Michigan Nutrition. We just had a pancake waffle, right?
Yeah, waffles, yeah.
My brain's messed up, folks. Sorry about that.
Something we all know around here.
Everybody who knows me knows that.
Yep.
Anyway. So, yeah, we had a waffle thing. They make it out of the same stuff they make the shakes with. It was really good. We had bananas on it, and I had all kinds of toppings with it. It was delicious. And then you got it with your T-bomb and the whole thing. It was really, really good. So they're on Grand Haven, Michigan. I know a lot of people on the show are from other places, but if you're local and you stop in, let them know that Jim and Tim sent you. Okay, we appreciate that. Okay, and this week we've decided, instead of doing the fan of the week, I decided to do the fan of the month. And I know we were going to do fan of the week, but I just think that put one person up for the entire month and they get more accolades that way. It just seemed better to me. So this week, the fan of the month is
the Maniac fan of the month.
Maniac fan of the month is Judy Schwartz. And we congratulate you on your submission, and we appreciate you being a fan of Lions on the Prowl. Just a couple of questions. Number one, are you related to Jim Schwartz? Just wondering.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get her on to figure that out. And Tim, do you have any words?
Well, the reason she was chosen was because her video was number one, of course, and she's always posting stuff on our Facebook group.
Yeah,
she is really active with us. So, and you can just tell that she is Lions heart all the way.
Yeah.
So she's my Maniac fan of the month.
All right. And may the Schwartz be with you. No, that's awful. I'm sorry. Okay, so next up, we have our Legend of the Week, and Tim's going to take it away for this one. Okay. Our Legend of the Week is, Tim?
Okay, is Herman Moore, and man, was he a maniac in catches. I remember seeing him. He was just really would light up the emotions, because he would pull up touchdown catches. How many?
Oh, tons.
Yeah, tons of them. He had 670 career receptions.
Wow.
62 of those was for TDs. Man, his yardage. 9,174 yards.
Wow.
Over 11 seasons for the Lions. One for New York Giants.
Boo.
Yeah, boo. But the Lions, man, he just really just put it to the defense. They had to double cover him a lot of times. His best game was, as far as for touchdowns, was against the Green Bay Packers.
Yay!
He had like 3 touchdown catches there. Yeah, and that was October 29th, 1995.
Yeah, Herman Moore was an outstanding big wide receiver. Was he 6'4" or something like that? Yeah. Big wide receiver. Actually pretty fast, too, for being that big. He's like the Calvin Johnson before we got Calvin Johnson.
Right.
And he had held all the records until Calvin Johnson broke those records. But it's good to remember Herman Moore. If he was with Matthew Stafford, what do you think he would have done?
Oh, I think he just would have really, maybe even doubled those yards.
Yeah, no doubt. He had Kramer, and I think you had said before Rodney Peete.
Yep. And of course they had to, they had to run and shoot going then. So so that accounted for, that used the skills for what he was really meant for, And I know there was a lot of defensive coverage that really hated to cover him, because he just went ahead and caught the balls and gave us real excitement.
Yeah, he did. He brought excitement to the team. He brought just a professionalism, I think, and he went about his business. He was a little bit more like, he was a little less like Barry Sanders. I mean, but he wasn't one to show off or anything like that as much. I know Barry would just hand the ball to the official. I mean, he's a little more than that, but I mean, he was a humble guy, and he's done a lot for his community and things like that as well. So I just wanted to acknowledge Herman Moore this week as our player, as our legend of the week. We're going to get into something pretty serious now. Recently, this week, the allegations that came out against Matt Patricia.
Right.
We wanted to talk about those on our show, but first I wanted to say that we don't condone any type of sexual assault, any type of any of that stuff at all.
Exactly.
On this show. But in saying that, I wanted to let everyone know that I think that this being brought up after 22 years is a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, and really just to write a story. It wasn't that the victim came forward.
Right.
Or the so-called victim. She, at least it seems like she just wanted to have everything put aside. We don't know any of the details from her. Right. So we can only guess. But, if it was something that she wanted brought out, came to the reporter too, we could understand that.
Right. I want to take a little bit of time now and take a break from the normal programming that we do here. And I want to let Valerie Bordeau, that's my wife, and she's going to speak a little bit about the Matt Patricia situation coming from her perspective. Take it away.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Valerie Bordeau, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Matt Patricia case from the perspective of a woman who was a victim of sexual assault from a long time ago. Now, I think that this whole case being brought up now is utter complete garbage and a desperate attempt for journalists to save their own media in a failing economy, because there's no reason for this to be brought up now. 22 years ago, we don't know what happened. We don't know if the victim in this case made a false accusation or a true one. We don't know what Matt Patricia did that night or didn't do that night. And in all scenarios here, 3 parties have decided to take this case to their grave. And to bring this up now, why? What good does this do? First of all, now there's no new information. It seems to have been brought up as a complete just shock and sensationalistic story. You're not going to serve any justice by this. And it's a complete insult to both parties here. It's an insult to the victim, who's now being harassed by reporters to get her side of the story. It's an embarrassment and complete garbage to Matt Patricia, who was never, ever charged and found guilty. And what are we going to accuse the Lions for? That they didn't do their job in, investigating this? They're both states' laws. He came from New England. In Massachusetts, you can't ask that question unless he had an actual charge. In Michigan, it's the same thing. The Lions aren't guilty of anything here, and those two are completely innocent. This case has been dropped 22 years ago. What purpose does this serve other than to cause hurt and pain to both the victim and to Matt Patricia? And I think that journalists should be ashamed of themselves. No wonder they're called the Dungeon of Doom. They've just proven themselves to be the vipers that Jim Caldwell pointed them out to be by doing this. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I just want to thank you for making the comments on the show, and appreciate them. A very sensitive topic. Tim, what do you get out of this whole situation?
I agree totally with Val. This is something that was personal between the people, and I wanted to thank Val for coming and talking, because, we know that sometimes false accusations can be made too, and it could have been that. It could have been heat of the moment, somebody gets mad at somebody else. We don't know. So they buried it. It wasn't trying to be hid. But, why do we bring it up?
Yeah.
Why did they bring it up?
14 years didn't it get brought up in New England?
Right.
And here leads me to this point this week. And this wasn't planned. We had a whole show planned for you this week that was about Matthew Stafford. It was about some other thing that I can't remember. The kickoff rule was going to be changed and all this stuff. So, and those are important things. We'll get to those someday. But right now, I want to address those fans that both sides of the argument. One side of the fan base says Detroit versus everybody. The reps, the league.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's against us. The other part of those people say, hey, it's our own fault, And I right now on this show, I am going to agree with the Detroit versus everybody theme.
Oh, me too, Jim. I mean, it's just, if you look over the years, it just seems like there's a bias, and this just kind of proves what we've been saying. I mean, this could have been brought out a long time ago if it was really relative.
Yeah. And I know there's fans out there that are going to say, well, you know what, it was brought out right now and whatever, and New England didn't know about it, and it came out now and whatever. But you know what? The timing is suspect to me.
Right.
14 years he's an employee of the New England Patriots. And a pretty high-ranking, employee.
Right. And we're not blaming the Patriots saying they had anything to do with bringing it up, because it's obviously the Detroit News that did it.
Right. But what we are saying is, okay, he's a defensive coordinator, which he's not a head coach, so I get the difference.
Right.
We're not stupid here at Lions on the Prowl. We just have an opinion. My opinion is this. Yes, the Lions have shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. I am not going to deny that. Matt Millen to, all the way back to Monty Clark as in coaches, general managers, systems, things that we blew. And I get that. But how many times over and over and over again has a referee stopped our momentum? Has the schedule stopped our momentum?
Right.
Has things that, seem to be controlled by the league, stopped our momentum? We're gonna go through a few of these.
Right.
The Calvin Johnson play.
Oh yeah.
Clearly a catch.
Yeah.
NFL has come out now and said, yes, that was a catch. Well, thank you, because we lost a game because of it.
And it was a Monday night game, national televised game. And this was something where the Lions were starting to really do good. And then they go ahead.
It was the first game of the season, too. It was the first game of the season. And it was going to set the tone for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And it turns out the first game of the season is a loss because it was robbed from you.
Right.
And it takes all the air out. Our guys work hard. Our coaches work hard. And our team works hard in the front office all the way to the players.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous to steal games from a team like has been done to us. The other ones I'm going to bring up is the Houston Texans.
Oh gosh.
The Thanksgiving Day game. Foster's clearly down.
Right.
He gets up, runs to the end zone. The officials never blow the whistle, so it's a touchdown. Schwartz tries to challenge it. He gets a 15-yard penalty. Plus, they say, no, we can't review it now, and now it stands as a touchdown. which is absolutely ridiculous because the league is supposed to be wanting to get the damn call right.
Right.
Now, how are you getting the call right when everyone, even a blind man can see?
And
guy
you know,
was down.
Yeah, and we were listening to this, on reviewing it before the show, and a Houston Texans fan went ahead and was pointing out that this was the worst call that he's ever seen.
Right.
And and for us, it's only been one of the worst calls.
So yeah, okay, playoff game. Detroit's up 20-3 in this game. I'm not making excuses for the Lions on this, but they are driving down. It's a third down play.
Right.
The guy is all over our guy, standing in front of him. The ball hits him, actually.
Yep.
And there's no pass interference on that. They throw the flag for pass interference and blatantly pick it up.
Yeah.
Tell me there's not something wrong with that. I've never seen that happen before where someone picked up the pass interference call. Saw it there.
And the national media actually even pointed it out.
Yeah. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And so the Lions get screwed there. But that wasn't everything that happened on that play.
Right.
Des Bryant comes out without a helmet.
Yep.
It's an automatic 15-yard penalty. But guess what? That's
no
not called
call.
either. And it's getting ridiculous. Of course, you got the Calvin Johnson where we went over that.
Right.
Calvin Johnson on a drive that probably would have won the game for the Lions versus the Seahawks.
Right.
Gets the ball batted out by Cam Chancellor. Excellent play by Cam Chancellor. I got nothing against Seattle or anybody there or whatever. But the guy blatantly pounds the ball bats the ball out of the end zone. Now, isn't it convenient that the referees don't know the rules when it comes to something that's positive for the Lions, but they do know the rules when it's something against us? See, the batted ball thing is illegal. You can't bat the ball in the end zone. The back judge, they said, thought that he wasn't intending to do it. If you watch that play, he slows down to bat the ball.
Right.
He bats the ball, and then he pumps his fist in the air after he did it.
Yep. Yeah.
Like he made a great play. Are you kidding me? Like I said, Ray Charles could see that this stuff is ridiculous.
Right. And, is it just that, they don't consider the Lions to be that upper team, that they're just, they're not looking as hard at the other teams on what they might be doing wrong? Or is it an actual bias that they're going to say, not on my watch is this team going to win?
That's a fair point. I mean, the media disrespects us too.
Right.
The referees disrespect us. The league disrespects us, to be flat honest about it. And the media, like BSPN, which is what I call them, ranked us 20th this year. 20th. Really?
BS.
BSPN.
Lions fans, stand up. Stand up.
Don't
shout.
take this crap anymore.
We deserve to win. We deserve fair cause.
We deserve a fairly called game.
Yes.
Not just,
one-sided
let's
holding
after the freaking game's over.
Right. I mean, if there's holding on every play, like they say, and you can't call all of them, but that's both teams are holding. You don't call it one-sided just against the Lions so that the other team can go ahead and win.
Exactly.
I mean, how many times do they do that? For Green Bay, go ahead and look the other way. Well, I'm darn sick of it.
Me too.
Totally
had it with this crap.
Yeah.
We get excited every season.
Oh, gosh.
Every season we look forward to watching our guys play and watching them give their 100%. And are we saints? Do we do everything right? No, because nobody does. If you can get away with it, they're going to do it. I understand that. But to freaking call us every single time.
Right.
I remember a game, Green Bay versus Detroit. The penalties were 13-3.
Right.
In Green Bay.
Yep.
Homer calls. Homer calls in Dallas. Homer calls in Green Bay. It's just ridiculous. We're not the golden boys of the league like Tom Brady, the New England Patriots, the Green Bay Packers, so we're not going to get the calls.
Right.
And I've just had it with that BS.
And those wins that they get like that, and I don't care if it's the Lions that get that win or whatever team does, those are tainted wins. Those ain't real wins. They're wins that somebody helped you get. So you want to go ahead and say you Green Bay Packer fans or Green Bay Packers have won 4 Super Bowls. Well, how legit are those? Because if things are not called down the middle, they're not legit. They might as well be the WWE. This is a sport. This is not sports entertainment.
Absolutely.
This is a sport. Call things right.
Maniac Tim
Well.
is absolutely right. Absolutely right on this. And then the thing is, I'm going to get bashed. Tim's going to get bashed because we're dumb and we don't know that, there were other plays. After the Calvin Johnson rule, we had another play. Oh, guess what? We know. We know.
But
we don't care because it stopped their momentum. You get a touchdown, you're all excited, everything. You just scored. Now you got to line up and do it again.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to score in the NFL.
Right. And plus, the man's going to take it away from us. That's what you think. Oh, if we go ahead and score again, they're going to take it away again.
Anyway,
so why do it?
So that's part of it. Okay. So the top 10 quarterbacks, according to, and I can't remember the association, Colin Cowherd.
The Herd.
Yeah, the Herd. Top 10 quarterbacks. Guess who's not on that list?
Stafford.
The guy that throws for 4,000 yards a season without a running game and without a decent offensive line.
Doesn't deserve to be paid right now. That's what he said, which is BS.
Yes, it is. Total BS. And I'm sick and tired of everybody just giving into this stuff. It's like, well, we could have played better. Well, hell, the other team could have played better too, but we should have beat them.
Right.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Did you know when his knee went down, if his knee went down before he actually got to the touchdown and he was touched by a fingernail or whatever he was touched by? I'm talking about the Golden Tate thing with Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Did you know when his knee hit, there was 11 seconds left, not 8. 11.
So there should have been 1 second left for the Lions to go ahead and have a chance to score again.
But the officials allow the play to be over.
Right.
And allow it to go down to 8 seconds. Don't readjust the clock because he was down by contact there. Then they're going to run it off from 8 seconds rather than run it off from 11.
You know what that sounds like to me? A screw job.
Yeah. It does. It's the rules, but it's the wrong rule.
Right.
How in the world do you let a game end like that? They say, Lions couldn't have done that in 7 seconds. Hell, in Tennessee, we had 2 touchdowns in 19 seconds.
Right.
Don't tell me we can't score in 7 seconds. Are you crazy? It's ridiculous. And I'm so sick and tired of this stuff because I'm a Lions fan. And I've been a Lions fan all my life. And, I talk to this stupid Green Bay fan. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful because it is kind of disrespectful saying someone's stupid. But it's just ridiculous because we beat them twice last year. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like, well, you haven't done nothing for 60 years. Yeah, well, there's reasons we haven't done nothing for 60 years.
When you have the NFL holding you back.
Last year we make the playoffs if that Atlanta game goes differently because Atlanta made the playoffs because they beat us. And they had a better record than we did by 1 game.
And how much momentum did they take out of us by doing that?
Now, maybe they didn't. I'm trying to think. I thought maybe I'm not sure about that having 1 more game than we did. I thought we were both 9-7, but I could be mistaken on that. But I know that game cost us the playoffs.
Right.
Dallas game, we're in the playoffs.
Right.
With a chance to win and go on, but no, it's robbed from us.
Yep.
And
the game before the Dallas game, it was Green Bay where there was questionable calls in that one.
Do you have to every year look at the Lions' schedule and say, we got to take out 3 of these wins just because of the officials?
Right.
Why do we have to do that every year? Because it's going to happen. We're going to get screwed one way or the other. Not that every time it's a last-second play. Sometimes it's holding, like Tim says, holding calls. Okay, so we run the ball on first down. We get nothing like we usually do. Say we break one for 20 yards. Everybody's holding their breath for a flag. Tell me every time there's a good running play or we run the ball back for touchdown, you're always looking for the flag. You never can exhale until they don't see a flag on the field. You tell me you don't feel that way.
Right.
Because I know you do. I know I feel that way.
Yeah, I know.
So it's ridiculous to me for us to always have to hold our breath when other teams could just drag our guys right to the ground and it's a touchdown.
And just think if you're on the field, and how many of you, like you're the other team that's playing the Lions, and and the team is saying, oh yeah, we don't really got to watch it that bad because they're going to call it harder against the Lions than they do us anyway. So it lets them hold more.
Yeah, it allows them to get away with more.
Right.
It allows them to do to have an unfair advantage.
Right.
And to be honest, football they say is a game of inches, but when you take away yards from us, that takes away the game.
Yep.
Just
sure
right
does.
there. What about New Orleans when they placed the ball,
Oh, God, yeah.
You want to tell us about that one, Tim?
Yeah. Went ahead. It was clear. New Orleans clearly did not make the first down. This was in the playoffs. Lions was at New Orleans, and the ref goes ahead and picks it up. Even the announcers were saying this. Spotted a ball further ahead to give New Orleans a first down. Otherwise, it would have been Lions ball.
Otherwise, yeah, they would have had to
punt. Yeah, and it was blatant. We're looking at that disbelief.
How many times have you said "What the hell" in a Lions game when you just had something? It's like they take a knife and stick it right in your gut.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we just won. Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah.
You go from this as really high euphoria to the basement level of despair with this team. And a lot of times it isn't their fault.
Right. It's not. When it gets taken away from you, when there's a rule that nobody hears about until it's brought up then.
Exactly.
And I used to, when I first met Jim and we were watching Lions games, I used to think he was crazy, as far as, on all these things.
Well,
but then as I see, over and over the years, and I see it with my own eyes, it's like, no, he got a point here, and, over and over and over again, I mean, I know we growing up, where, you get a bad call, you go ahead and, just shove it off, but over and over again, these are game-changing calls. These are momentum-swinging calls.
These are playoff-killing calls.
Yes.
These are things that, the Lions have been within one or two games the last few years of either making the playoffs or winning the division. And if you continue to take 1, 2, maybe even 3 games away because of officiating every year, imagine how different the Lions would look if those games were not taken away from us.
And also, to go back to that Dallas game, like I said, the officiating before was Green Bay was just as bad, and it did look like the rest was trying to take the looking glass off Green Bay and put it on Dallas, because if the Lions would have won that game and if it would have been called fairly against Green Bay, the Lions would have been division champs that year.
Yep.
Not Green Bay. But the rest helped you guys get division champs that year.
Yep. Totally agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. And I think the point is we're not trying to whine and cry and whatever, because that's a Green Bay fan.
Right.
Oh, you're just whining and crying because you haven't won anything. Okay. Well, if that's true, how come when Seattle and you had a game, you whined and cried so loud and hard because of an interception or non-interception or something? I can't remember where it went. It was in the end zone. It was Golden Tate, actually.
Yep, it was.
For Seattle.
Yep.
And I think it was ruled a catch, and it should have been an interception or something like that.
Right.
Well, they had the replacement officials that week. The Green Bay Packers whined and cried so loudly that the NFL changed that and went and signed the normal refs back that same week.
Right. Yeah, because the refs are on strike.
Talk about whining and crying. Green Bay is really good at it. The Ndamukong Suh thing. I want to bring this up.
Yep.
Ndamukong Suh was a villain in Detroit.
Yep.
When he played for the Lions, he was the dirtiest player in the entire league. Well, Clay Matthews is pretty close. But they wouldn't say anything about that because that's Green Bay.
Right,
You don't want to do that. So, Sue, the famous stomp incident where he stomps this Green Bay guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you rewind that clip maybe 10, 20 seconds when that guy is driving his head down repeatedly into the ground?
And he's actually holding on to the foot as he's getting up, and basically
Sue is a very strong individual. He's on the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line is grabbing him and slamming his head into the ground.
Yep.
Right, which is totally legal, by the way, I guess, because they let it go and didn't say a dang word about it. He gets up and flips this guy around, pushes him off him, and then tries to get away. The guy has his foot, and he kicks at it to get his hand off there and kicks the guy. Now he's suspended. He's the worst person in the league because he kicked somebody. Okay, fine. He is not a saint.
Right. But
we're not claiming Ndamukong Suh was wronged here. He did something wrong. My point is the Green Bay Packer guy did something wrong as well. Yeah. My secondary point to the Ndamukong Suh thing, every week, they're just watching him like crazy. Anything he does, he pulls down this guy by his hair. He gets called for a horse collar, which it wasn't.
Right.
He pulled him down by his hair. You know, his hair is part of the uniform. If it's sticking out of the back, that's the rule. Or that was the rule then. But no, he gets called for a penalty. You know? He was a guy who did go after quarterbacks, who did do dirty plays. I believe that. But when he went to Miami, we heard about it for a little while, maybe in the first year. I haven't heard a thing about it, Ndamukong Suh.
Right.
Now, other than he just signed with the Rams and he's a wonderful player.
Right.
Why is it that when someone leaves our team and goes somewhere else, they're now wonderful players, but when they were in our team, they were scrutinized heavily?
And who was crying about the Lions that year a lot? Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And I remember Stafford spoke up. Good boss Stafford, because he went ahead and spoke up and said, well, look at what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and they're doing the same things.
But it's just being and that really makes it, is it the media that doesn't like Detroit?
Somebody doesn't.
Right.
I agree with you because, every single thing I read about the Lions this year, I shouldn't even watch. Even watch because they're ranked 20th. Offense is ranked 10th. What? Why? We were number 1 in passing yards last year. We didn't have an offensive line or a running game.
Right. If the car companies, which mostly all started in Detroit, would go ahead and say, hey, you start calling this stuff right, or we'll pull your ads from the NFL. I mean, shoot. Detroit has brought a lot of good things to this country. This country would not be what it is if it wasn't for Detroit.
And Nate Burleson brought that up when he announced the second pick in the draft. He repped the Detroit Lions. He wore the Axel Foley, Detroit Lions thing that Eddie Murphy wore in Beverly Hills Cop. And you know what? Nate Burleson has been a true Lion ever since he got here. And he's telling the truth. And if it wasn't for him and Dan Orlovsky, we would get no respect whatsoever on NFL Network.
That's true.
No respect at all. But because of those two guys, and to a certain extent, Steve Mariucci did it for a while. Mm-hmm. But if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even be talked about. There wouldn't even be anything about us.
Yeah.
He said
anything positive, always negative. It would be just negative.
Like, who would you like in the 2-minute drill? If you had 2 minutes to go and the game was on line, who would you take? He said number 9. And the other guy automatically says Drew Brees.
Yeah.
No, he goes no, Matt Stafford. It's like, is it a shock to the system that the guy who's made 24, he's attempted 24 comebacks and made 20 of them?
Right.
That he should be the best at that? No. Why should he be? Well, everybody else that's below him has 11, and he has 20. Think about it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not even close.
Right. This time, this age, he's the top.
Yes. But no, he can't be an elite quarterback because we haven't won anything yet. Well, some of the reasons that we haven't won anything yet is because
they've been taken away. They've been taken away wrongly.
So if we win the games that we've been taken away from, the games that have been taken away from us, our record becomes better. And oh my gosh, what happens? We start winning divisions. Oh my gosh, we get home field advantage. Oh my gosh.
And what we're talking about is respect.
Absolutely.
Because we deserve the respect, just like every team in the NFL deserves the same respect. I don't care if you're Jerry Jones from the Dallas Cowboys or if you're William Clay Ford, the late William Clay Ford, Martha Ford from the Detroit Lions. You deserve the same respect.
Absolutely. And
or if
it's completely about respect.
Yeah.
The respect of ESPN, the respect of NFL Network, the respect of the NFL live shows and all these other things where they bury the Lions most of the time unless it's a bad thing, and then they broadcast it. Anything good they hardly even talk about, seems like. My thing is, I'm not asking you fans to whine and cry and bitch and moan. That's not what I'm asking you to do. What I'm asking you to do is ask for the respect that we all deserve.
And maybe when we go to games, we ought to get signs saying respect.
Something. I honestly believe, and I'm not gonna. I mean, it depends on what you want to do, but as a fan base, we should stand up and not take this BS anymore. What can we do? Okay, we could write to Martha Ford.
Right.
And say, you know what? This BS of us always getting disrespected and always getting... Can you do anything about that? Can we go to the league? Can we do something to get this crap reversed?
Or can we as fans petition a league?
Yeah, something.
I
mean, if the league doesn't like us, they're not going to change their mind, but at least they're going to know they pissed off an entire fan base.
Right.
And maybe that's something they don't want to do. Maybe they don't care.
Right.
I don't know, but we do care. We care very deeply about our team. We care very deeply about what they have accomplished and what they could accomplish if they weren't handcuffed every single year.
Right. And, I'm proud to be a Lions fan. That's my team. Yep. That's Jim's team. I mean, sure, there's been times that we've been frustrated just like everybody else and thought, why are we? But we are dedicated Lions fans.
Absolutely. And this show isn't just so we can be on the air talking.
Right.
We're passionate about our team. We want our team to win. I want to see a Super Bowl in my lifetime. How about you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, we have to change some of the perceptions and the culture and the things going around our team to make sure that we do have an equal chance to win. I just want a fair shake. I'm not saying that there should give us games or anything like that. I just want it to be fair.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I just want it to be called fair. I want the league to be fair to the Lions, and I want the media to be fair to the Lions.
Yep.
And when your own media screws you over, what do you do then?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you bring this stuff up for after 14 years with the Patriots?
Yep.
22 years this has been, gone. I mean, it's been a long time. What on God's green earth are you doing bringing this up now? The only thing you accomplished was to shed some light on our new coach that's bad, that's negative, that's awful, to not trust Bob Quinn, to not trust the system, to have questions about our coach. That's all you did.
Right.
That's all you did. You didn't bring out any new evidence. You didn't do any. You may have done due diligence, and I don't know that. I know that he asked the victims, he asked the Lions to comment, and all this other stuff. But in your heart of hearts, why do it? What does this produce? Does it produce justice for the victim? No, because the victim doesn't want to be at the trial, didn't want to have the trial, doesn't want to respond to you, obviously.
Right, take
the
hint.
But you just continue with it and go ahead and publish it anyway.
Just so that you guys can get your paper sold.
Exactly.
And can discredit, a good man,
And we don't know that he didn't do it or did do it, and we're not passing judgment here. We don't know.
Right.
But what I do know is there's no good that comes out of that, and that's our own media. That's our own people trying to destroy the relationship between the fan base and the coach, and maybe even Bob Quinn and the coach.
Right.
I mean, who knows if he knew this before or not? They were close friends. I don't know if it was ever brought up before. It doesn't sound like it.
Right.
All I'm saying is, you know what? I'm so sick and tired of us being looked in a negative light by everybody.
Right.
I'm so sick and tired of every time that we say something or we complain about something. Oh, we're whining and crying and bitching and moaning, but when Green Bay does it, it's okay.
Yep.
It's fine. You know, they got cheated, so, oh my gosh. Well, look at how many times the NFL has apologized to us. Apologies aren't good enough anymore.
No.
We get losses for your apologies.
And you know, why is it people who do within the organization, coaches, when they speak against the refs or point out things that are actual true, and they go ahead and get fined for it. This is America, freedom of speech.
It's ridiculous to get fined by the NFL for your incompetent piece of crap refs.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I don't get paid by anybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to say whatever the heck I feel like. And I feel like that this is the most corrupt system maybe besides, I mean, maybe every sport is like this, but I don't know. All I know is that if your refs are trying as hard as they can, okay, they're the most incompetent people I've ever seen in my life. You know?
That's true.
And maybe you've given them too much power, and this is my thing. I mean, this is what I think. I think you've given the NFL referees too much power to decide in gray areas on their own, individually. I think there should be more black and white rules. I think they should take them more out of the game rather than in the game, because once they're in the game, they seem to change the outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The referee is supposed to be invisible. The best reffing is supposed to be when no one notices him. And guess what? We notice these guys every freaking week.
And what is justice supposed to be? Blind.
Right. Well, you're right about that.
Yeah, you know, it's just supposed to be things. You know, they're supposed to be the justice of the NFL. You know, bring justice to the game. You know, and that means you don't see the uniform. You see what the players are doing. Just because there's a line on a helmet and not a big old green G, yellow G, or whatever the heck Packer symbol is, you know, or the star on the Cowboys, you don't see that symbol. You're supposed to call the way the game is played, not by the color of the uniform.
Absolutely. The disrespect goes all the way from the media to the NFL to the NFL officials. And I believe it is Detroit versus everybody. And we've had a show today that I normally don't go to, but we're not going to shy away when a ref makes a bad call.
Right.
We're not going to shy away from the Matt Patricia situation. Nope. We're going to have special people on to tell you different things from their perspective. And I really appreciate Val coming on today and telling her perspective as a woman that has went through a sexual assault, and opening up and telling everybody what she thinks about the Matt Patricia situation. I appreciate our audience. I appreciate our Lions fans. I know some of you won't agree with this, but you know what? It's our opinion as Lions fans. And I just hope that you give us the respect that we want to give to our team.
Right.
Just hear us out. Just, you know what I'm saying? Let us do our rant. And we'll let you do yours, and we'll let you have your opinions. And if you do have different opinions than we do on this whole situation, feel free to email us at lionsontheprowl@gmail.com. Also, you can get in the Facebook group and talk to me or Tim. That's fine, too. Also, if you like what you hear and you're on our side with this, let us know. Let us know what you think. Because it's important to us to bring to you what you want to hear.
Right, because you're the fans, and this is from the fans' perspective.
Exactly. And a lot of fans are pissed off. A lot of fans are upset. But if you could please click the subscribe button for us. We are back on iTunes, so if you want to go to iTunes, search the store for Lions on the Prowl. You'll find us there and hit that subscribe button so that you can get the new show as soon as it drops every week. We're running out of time for this show this week. And this is Jim.
And this is Maniac Tim.
And we appreciate your listenership. We appreciate you being there for this show. And you guys have a great Mother's Day and a great week.